Hello, you are most welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your power behind the voice on Tuesday Night Anatomy with Daniel Okwan. Today's section, I take you through something simple which has some kind of clinical correlation. Yes, of course, during some examination, yes, you may encounter some of these questions. And my friends, today I talk about student elbow. Now, because of the nature of the work by way of being a student, okay, oftentimes if you write, and of course as we study, yes, most times this area of the body which you call the elbow, yes, may be in contact with, of course, the table. And because the table is a hard surface, what happens is that there could be some kind of inflammation to this area that we're talking about. This area, yes, is the elbow we're talking about. Now, importantly, one thing I want you to become aware is that this student elbow thing we're talking about, yes, it makes sense that it is often associated with, of course, the activity by way of studying. But not only that, there could be other profession which may also predispose one to have this kind of student elbow that we're talking about. And what are these things? Yes, sometimes miners may experience something like that. Yes, plumbers, yes, even bakers, and of course some other mechanical activities, okay, may predispose one to, of course, experience this thing that we are talking about, being student elbow. My friends, as I've told to you, as I've explained to you, this is the area which, of course, that problem is going to be felt. Okay, so it means that, yes, there's some kind of inflammation, okay, of this area. Now, importantly, one thing I want you to become aware is that there's a bone which, of course, is part of course, the forearm bones. We are talking about the ulna, the bone, that's the ulna. I'm not talking about the radius, I'm talking about the ulna. And in the ulna, the proximal end of this bone presents with this, bony prominence, which we call it the olecranon. Something you can also add, yes, olecranon process, yeah, that's the thing. Okay, so this olecranon over there, one thing is that because there's a joint and it's often in contact with the hard surface, God in his own wisdom, yes, brought in something which is going to minimize the friction, of course, between, of course, the skin and, of course, the bone over there. And my friend, God put something over there, a fluid-filled sac that we call it, a bursa. And this bursa will contain synovial fluid. And because in the region of the olecranon, okay, that elbow region, then we want to call this, fluid-filled sac, which is the bursa, an olecranon bursa. Olecranon bursa, okay? So that was the point. And so one thing is that if chronically this area is, of course, in contact with the hard surface, then what will happen is that there could be that kind of inflammation of this portion. Okay, and in that case, there will be more fluid collected in this bursa. And my friend, that is something we call olecranon bursitis. So my friends, if you talk about student elbow, then anatomically or clinically, the name is olecranon bursitis. Okay, so that's one thing I want you to become aware of. Now the question is it only just based on chronic exposure of this area to a hard surface that will result in inflammation of this bursa? My friends, the answer is no. Yes, it could be also due to infection. Okay, so an infection could result in inflammation of this bursa also. And my friends, not only that, it could be also due to something that we call, rheumatoid arthritis, or it could also be due to something called gout. So a lot of uric acid, yes, could get accumulated over here, and you will see that this area will get swollen, okay, very painful, very reddish, okay, and this is something which we can also add as far as description of olecranon bursitis is concerned. Okay, so these are the things that I want you to become aware of. Okay, that whenever you hear of student elbow, think of olecranon bursitis. And my friends, it's not only being a student that will predispose you to some of these things, but also other professions which I've mentioned to you. Then my friend, the question is, how do we, manage these things? Now, simply, yes, if you, relieve this of the stress, okay, that is put on it by way of putting it on a hard surface, then naturally it's going to resolve with time. Okay, through some icing, through, of course, sometimes you may have to apply some kind of bandage, okay, to it. But my friends, importantly, sometimes if it becomes too painful, yes, I mean all the time, then what will happen is that the place is swollen, it's not resolving, then maybe that kind of indication to drain, okay, this vessel of the excess fluid. Okay, so that drainage may go on. Okay, that is the surgical intervention. And oftentimes, some of these things, if you drain it, okay, there will be that kind of infection. So there may be the need to prescribe, antibiotics. Okay, so that of course there will not be any, spread of these bacteria which will be in, of course, this fluid. Okay, so that is one thing I want you to become aware. Now, if whenever you drain, okay, and then still there is that kind of, pain over there, then of course NSAIDs could be, of course, given. Okay, aspirin, ibuprofen, all those things. Yes, could be given to minimize, of course, all these things. And then if chronically, all the time, it is drained, and then more fluid is collected, then of course it makes sense that this vessel may have to be taken away. Okay, that may be the indication to remove this olecranon, vessel. So my friends, as far as student elbow is concerned, I want you to understand these things. Okay, so I'm very grateful for your time this evening. Have a good night, all of you, and may the good Lord richly bless you. Amen.